Today is November 27th. I'm Eric McLaren, and here's what's making news now. Elementary teachers in Ontario will not be filling out report cards for kindergarten students this fall. The Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario, which represents 78,000 teachers across the province, signed a tentative labor deal with the province earlier this month, and Education Minister Liz Sandals said teachers would end work to rule. Now it appears kindergarten teachers will not fill out comment sections in report cards. Fall assessments for kindergarten students are not mandatory, but many boards use them as a way to give parents an indication as to how their kids are doing. The ETFO says it will not comment further. 2 weeks ago, Simone Reed was murdered in her Scarborough apartment. Earlier this week, her father Paul Reed was found dead in his car. Investigators have been searching for Paul Reed as he was likely one of the last people to see his daughter alive. Police have not yet determined the cause of Reed's death and are awaiting the results from the pathologist. At this time, police don't have enough information to make any connection between Paul Reed's and his daughter's death. A female pedestrian is dead after being struck by a fuel tanker just after 5:30 this morning. The fuel tanker was making a right turn at Bathurst and Eglinton Avenue West intersection when it struck the woman who appeared to be in her 20s. This is the third pedestrian to be struck by a vehicle and killed in the GTA this week. The photos of 3-year-old Alan Kurdi lying dead on a beach spurred international outrage and brought promises of change for refugees fleeing the bloody Syrian conflict. The CBC has discovered the family of Alan Kurdi will be coming to Canada. Alan Kurdi's aunt, Tima Kurdi, has successfully sponsored Alan's uncle, aunt, and their 5 children to come as refugees. Tima Kurdi's first sponsorship application was rejected by Ottawa last June. The acceptance is a result of the new plan to fast-track refugee sponsorships. The 7 refugees will arrive in Vancouver soon. In international news, the fallout between Turkey and Russia continues after Turkey shot down a Russian bomber while it was in Turkish airspace. The Turkish president warns Russia not to play with fire, and the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says that Moscow questions whether Turkey has real intentions to fight terrorism. Lavrov also announced that Russia will suspend the visa-free travel between Russia and Turkey as of January 1st. Prime Minister Trudeau will toast the Queen tonight at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Malta. The summit is a 3-day gathering bringing together the leaders of 53 Commonwealth countries. This is likely to be the last summit for the 89-year-old monarch who rarely travels long distances. One issue Trudeau and the other leaders will be discussing is how to tackle climate change. The Polish court's decision to deny the extradition of filmmaker Roman Polanski to the U.S. over a 1977 child sex conviction became binding today, after the courts found no justification to appeal it. Polanski pled guilty to having sex with a 13-year-old girl during a photo shoot in Los Angeles. The director served 42 days in jail after a plea bargain. He fled the U.S. the following year to Britain and then to France. He says he believed the judge in his hearing his case could overrule the deal and put him in jail indefinitely. In the U.S. and Canada, today is Black Friday. Shoppers can be driven into a frenzy over rock bottom prices coming just in time for the holiday season. How are Humber students spending Black Friday? Gian Tian has the story.
Thank you, Eric. Today is November 27th. It's Black Friday. Let's say what Humber students are planning for Black Friday.
No. Yeah, I'm going home this weekend, so I think I'm gonna go to the mall and participate.
No, I'm not that big of a shopper. I mean, if I see stuff, then I'll go, but I'm not down to sit outside of a store and wait just so I can get deals.
I'm not a fan of the huge crowds in the mall. I'm actually not going to be shopping at the mall, but I'll be shopping online.
First and foremost, I have no money, student life. But just also, I'm done for the day. I've got some schoolwork to do, I've never really been one to participate in any kind of big sale for any kind of retail.
Because it's way too crowded in Eden Center and I'm probably not going to get anything anyway.
This is Jian Tian from skedline.com. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Gianni. Now we go to Laura with sports.
Welcome to SKEDLIVE. My name is Laura O'Callahan, and here's what's happening in sports. The 103rd Annual Grey Cup is days away. The Ottawa Red Blacks and the Edmonton Eskimos will face off in Winnipeg this Sunday. The Grey Cup Festival kicked off last Wednesday with the arrival of the Grey Cup trophy in Winnipeg. Ticketed and free events like the Hall of Fame exhibit, dash tours, and a chance to get autographs and photos with some of your favorite CFL players are taking place all week. The events continue until Game Time Sunday, where Fall Out Boy will be the attraction at halftime. The Red Blacks quarterback, Henry Burris, was just named Most Outstanding Player of the Year, and their head coach, Rick Campbell, won Coach of the Year. Burris has 2 previous Grey Cup victories under his belt, and now with this award, a lot is riding on the star quarterback to add a 3rd victory. The Red Blacks have allowed the fewest sacks and have one of the most consistent offensive lines in the CFL League. But will it be enough to stop the Eskimos' defensive line and their 9-game winning streak? I caught up with football commentator Nate Sager earlier today to hear what he thinks. I have Nate Sager here with me. He's a lead blogger for Yahoo Sports, Buzzing the Net, and a football commentator for the University of Ottawa. He is joining us now from Skype. Mr. Sager, how are you today?
Good, Laura. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. As you know, the Red Blacks have one of the best receiving corps in the league, but the Eskimos also have one of the best defense. How do you see this playing out on Sunday?
It's going to be an interesting chess match between the, the physical Eskimos defense. Obviously, their cornerbacks Patrick Watkins and John Ojo aren't your typical, small, compactly built, cornerbacks. They're 6'5", and 6'3", and it's going to be creating an interesting matchup for that, diverse Ottawa receiving corps that had 4,000-yard receivers.
What do you think of Henry Burris winning the Most Outstanding Player award?
It's warranted. When you look at the numbers between he and Bo Levi Mitchell, who was the Western nominee, the Calgary quarterback, Burris certainly, 5,700 yards from a 40-year-old quarterback. That's a very seminal season, especially coming off a year where he only had 11 touchdown passes in Ottawa's, maiden season in 2014.
So you mentioned before that Edmonton is the favorite to win the Grey Cup this weekend, and you said you will be voting for the Ottawa Red Blacks. Is that just because they're the underdog?
I just think they've got something going that's hard to have in sports. Just that certain irrefutable, ineffable magic that teams have, and this isn't a best of 7 series. It's a best of 1, and strange things happen in the CFL. It's rare that both home teams win in the division finals. So maybe we're due for something unexpected.
Thank you for all your insight, Mr. Sager, and I hope you enjoy the game on Sunday.
I shall. You're welcome, Laura.
Thank you. For the full interview with Nate Sager, visit skedline.com. And be sure to tune in to TSN or RDS Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time to watch the game. For details on these stories and more of today's news, be sure to check out our website, skedline.com. I'm Laura O'Callahan. Bye for now.
Thanks, Laura. This has been your Scud Live for today. For more of our coverage, be sure to check out skedline.com. I'm Eric McLaren. Thanks for stopping by.